A dream 2023 Cheltenham Festival for Mikey O'Sullivan, a double, headlined by Nationale. He's back in the Arkle, but before we talk about that, just reflections on last year, a dream start to Cheltenham Festival.
Yeah, obviously last year was my first year as a professional, and obviously the Supreme was my first ride at the Cheltenham Festival as a professional, and for that to have gone so well was special. It's a day I'll never forget, and it's a festival I've grown up looking at, and it's where every jockey wants to be, and very much looking forward to it again this year.
And you bookended that with Jazzy Matty's success. How much of a dream was it to have not just one winner but two at the Coliseum?
Yeah, that was special. They really topped it off. Obviously there was a lot of pressure involved on Marine, and obviously good land the first two races on the first 2 days of the festival, so anything after that was kind of a bonus really. And look, it was nice to get that ride for Gordon, and to have a double on the first day of Cheltenham Festival was something I'll never forget anyway.
You mentioned good land. He's obviously out for the season. Is there any update on him? How is he?
He's just recovering. He's on box rest. He was a massive loss for the season. I thought he was going to be a monster over fences this year, but look, hopefully we get him back for next year, and he can be as good.
Back on to Nationale, of course, the disappointment of the Irish Arkle. Do we put that plainly just down to the ground?
I'd say there's a number of factors, the ground being one of them. He just didn't seem happy on the day, whatever it was, a little thing bothering him, but look, he's ran 7 times, he's won 6 times. Every horse has an off day, and just put a line through it. He got beaten, and obviously it was very disappointing, but we move on. He's come out of the race fine, and look, it's blown the Arkle wide open, but I wouldn't be swapping him for anything else in the race.
The 4 main protagonists in the betting all ran in that race. How do you feel it rode to you in terms of a race as a trial for the Arkle itself?
It rode like a fine race. It didn't ride exceptional or anything, but we went an even gallop from start to finish, and they quickened up well. My horse just wasn't on fire on the day, but look, it was his second run over fences in a Grade 1 against horses that have had a lot more experience and had ran Grade 1s before, so look, I'm sure that race will stand him and harden him up going into Cheltenham.
And by the sounds of things, you and Barry, you'd have no concerns taking on those rivals again. You feel like on another day you could hopefully get the better of them.
No, look, hopefully he'll learn from the run and come on from it, and as I said, I wouldn't be swapping him for anything else at the minute anyway.
And obviously the return, if there was better ground though for that first day, that would obviously be a major boost anyway.
Yeah, I think better ground would definitely benefit him, and a stronger run race. And yeah, hopefully all them things considered, he'll turn up on the day.
One horse you mentioned who you might also ride is Enniskerry. Is he in the Grand Annual?
Yeah, we're hoping to get Enniskerry to the Grand Annual. His last run was in the Galway Plate, and it was just probably a stretch trip-wise for him. But he's a classy individual, and if he gets there firing, I'd be very much looking forward to him.
You mentioned the double last year, but there's clearly pressure, and there's pressure again this year. He's the current favourite. Do you feel that pressure, or is it something that you feel you handle well? Look,
I seem to have handled it okay so far. I think pressure is important because it means what you're doing is important, and without pressure, you wouldn't be on them type of horses and the other type of horses you want to be involved in. Look, obviously him getting beaten the last day will take some of the pressure off. It might be no harm, but pressure is a good thing as I see it anyway.
And you mentioned you might also, you obviously don't know yet who you might ride, but you could have a ride in the Martin Pipe, still qualified to ride in that race?
Yeah, I think I'm still qualified. We're still claiming at the start of the season in England, so hopefully I might pick up a nice ride in that.
And you've got good support, not just from Barry, but you've ridden for Willie Gordon, many others, so it's hopefully a likelihood, but you've had lots of outside rides, which is a big positive. Yeah,
I'm happy with how things are going. Obviously, my second season as a professional and my first season without a claim, it's a hugely important one as a jockey, and it can be a struggle at times, but I'm lucky that my agent is doing a good job, and I'm getting lots of support from good owners and trainers, and hopefully long may it last.
And is that why Nationale is so important, having a flagship horse when you're just starting out as a young rider?
Yeah, it's hugely important. Obviously I'm under no illusions. I was lucky enough to come across 2 Grade 1 horses in my first season, and a lot of jockeys can go through their career searching for one, so I've been very privileged, and as I said, they're very important just to keep your name in the headlines, and it's hugely important as a jockey to just keep going forward.
And just finally, the Cheltenham Festival, having another winner there, will it always be the pinnacle?
Yeah, definitely. It's the week, everything builds up to every year, and if you're not riding there, you're looking on in jealousy really, and hopefully it can be a good week. It's a long, hard week and a tiring week, but if you can have a bit of success, it makes it everything worthwhile.
All the best.
Thanks very much.
JJ Slevin has live Grade 1 contenders in the shape of Fastorslow and Banbridge. We'll start with the former Fastorslow. Fantastic season, second of course the Galloping de Champs last time out. Can you reverse the form at Presbury Park?
Yeah, sure. We're obviously very hopeful. It's going to be a different race scenario in front of him the next day, and he's going there with a live chance anyway. And we met with defeat the last day, but I don't think the war is quite lost just yet. So we're hopeful.
And Martin seems to suggest that race, from a tactical point of view, it will play out differently at Cheltenham. Was that something that you kind of thought as well?
Yeah, for sure. It was a little bit of a cat and mouse race the last day, and I think just the cards are going to unfold, I'd say, very differently in Cheltenham. It'll be a good, even flowing race, and it'll be an end-to-end gallop, I'd imagine, and there'll be more horses in front of both horses the next day, and just have to see how the cards unfold on the day.
And he's a horse who had a near miss at the festival last year, but he seemed to, relish the track and the step up in trip to the 3 mile too. Is that maybe bring out a bit more improvement as well?
I think so. He's a very uncomplicated horse, well balanced horse, and he's jumps well, and he's acted around there in the past twice. So yeah, we don't hold any fears with the track anyway.
And obviously Galloping de Champs, the main headline act, but Jerry Colombe, a few others in there as well from Britain, not just in Ireland. Is still Galloping de Champs the one that you clearly fear most?
Yeah, for sure. The performance he put in at Leopardstown at Christmas was unbelievable. He drew a long, long way clear from a lot of good horses, and we got within 4 lengths of him the last day. So he definitely is the biggest danger.
Banbridge was deeply impressive on his return at Kempton. The ground obviously helped him that day. He's a horse that is better going. But were you surprised by the manner of the victory?
No, not really. He's always been a very good horse, Banbridge. Won a Grade 1 last year. He was second behind El Fabiolo over 2 miles last year in a Grade 1 as well. And the middle distances really suit him, and a nice surface suits him. And he probably did improve from last year, we felt, before he ran in Kempton. So looking forward to him now as well.
And as you say, that middle distance, it really seems to be his optimum trip.
I think so. He's good. He's probably able to mix it over 2 miles even as well. He's not a slow horse. He's able to travel and jumps quite well. So out to 2.5 seems to really bring out the best in him.
I guess is the main concern with him just if it turned up soft?
Yeah, I think so. It was just too slow for him there last year, and just on the right thing he pulled him out. So in a normal year, you'd be hoping that the ground should be fine for him.
No Allaho, but it's still probably going to be a deep renewal again. But he'd surely be, one of the leading contenders for the contest.
Yeah, for sure. Again, look, there's a few horses in there with a decent chance, so we'll just have to see what turns up, really.
One other mentioned is Nürburgring, who might go for the Triumph. Did you say?
I think so. He's more than 100 miles behind the best juveniles in Ireland there at Christmas time. Richie Deegan rode him, ran very well. He's a high class flat horse, and he hasn't done a whole lot wrong really, and it's just to see how he fits in against. There's a few English horses look fairly decent, and to try and I think he's well worth a shout out for the Brosnan racing lads. 3 really good rides there, 2 in obviously the championship races. How much of a thrill is that with just a month to go until the festival, having 2 live chances in those kind of contests? Yeah, she's really looking forward to it. This is where you want to be every year, that when you set out at the start of the year, is to be walking into a position like this and hopefully go there and hope that they perform, and hope that you get a winner or two and want to do, but it's what we do it for, Good luck. Thank you. Danny Mullins is here on the back of a fantastic Dublin Racing Festival, which included a Grade 1 hat-trick aboard Il Était Temps, Cargeese and Dancing City. We can just talk about those 3 first, along with how special a day it was. Firstly, Il Était Temps. Willie Mullins, spoke to him this morning. He's confident of a bold bid in the Arkle. What are your thoughts of translating the Leopardstown form to Cheltenham?
I think he has a good chance of doing it. What we've seen, he set a fair standard over hurdles, a Grade 1 winner at the Dublin Festival last year, and I think what we've seen out of him over fences, he's definitely improved. His jumping was the odd time leaving a question mark over hurdles, but he's been quite assured in his jumping over fences, which has brought out that improvement, maybe to let him go and beat the likes of Found a 50, Facile Vega and Marine Nationale. So with that kind of form from the Dublin Festival, you have to be going into Cheltenham thinking he'll be bang there again. It's not a case of being an odds-on favourite, but he's very well respected in the race. In terms of the ground, do you feel he's ground dependent, or does that little bit of soft just help him compared to a few others in the field like a Marine Nationale? I think the better the ground, the better he may be. In Limerick, he had a decent run behind Gaelic Warrior, but you know, when the ground is soft, he's a small enough horse if you've seen him this morning. So in soft ground, you're sinking 5-6 inches into the ground. It makes those fences a little bit bigger for him. So on nicer ground, he can show more scope, and I think that was clear around Leopardstown, and he doesn't lack speed.
Carl Geese led home a Mullins battalion in that race. What did you make of that performance?
It was very good. You know, she'd been good at Christmas but needed to learn how to settle, and the way she settled at the Dublin Festival, it definitely leaves her one that will hopefully have more potential to improve. But the juvenile division can be quite tricky. You know, different horses are improving at different rates, and it's probably the one division that will change so much right up to the race. The English horse Sergino, yes, he looks very good, visually impressive, but I'd hope there's quite a bit of strength and depth to the Irish form as well.
And the final one was Dancing City, took on Predators Gold. How impressed were you? He was a big price, but he did the job nicely.
He did. You know, the first day he was disappointing in Navan when Paul rode him in the maiden. I got to ride him the next day and found significant improvement to win his maiden nicely that day, and we were hoping he'd find that much improvement again, which he did, going to the Dublin Festival to beat Predators Gold. And I think if he can build on that, it gives him a good chance of winning Albert Bartlett. But he does need to improve again, but he's shown through this season he can.
From those three that you rode, if you got the leg up on one of them at Cheltenham, who would be the one you would most be looking forward to out of that trio?
I really like Cargeese. You know, she's not straightforward and has plenty of kinks, but a big engine, and you know, with those kinks there's hopefully I can turn Paul off her, but she's one I really like with a big engine, and you know, if she keeps coming together, I'd love to get a ride on her again.
You've had numerous big race success at numerous festivals. Cheltenham Festival success, is that still the pinnacle?
I suppose so. You know, for Cheltenham, for racing, hits a much wider audience. You know, I've been lucky enough to ride winners at all the big festivals, and Cheltenham is the one that probably hits the mainstream media, and you know, it's the place you want to be winning. It's just very good.
And a bit like a footballer of scoring a hat-trick before their next match, before a big festival, landing a big Grade 1 trio. Is that something that just can only build the confidence?
I think so, but you know, I never really get too hung up on the result. It's more the process for me, and you know, at Christmas I had a lot of good rides as well and didn't ride any Grade 1 winner. I won a big handicap at Christmas, but you know, I was still happy that everything went to plan and no horse, you know, finished further back than they should have, and that's why I went into the Dublin Festival with a lot of confidence, and I think I'll go with the same. You know, all went to plan at the Dublin Festival, and even though I rode winners, I think sometimes I can ride a winner and give a horse a bad ride. So it's not always the fact of winning itself, it's the process you need to concentrate on.
And just on Cheltenham, is there one particular winner that stands out for you during your career?
My first on Florin Porter, you know, that's the one. Nobody forgets their first Cheltenham winner, and that to come a Grade 1 race, championship race, on a horse that probably wasn't, that people thought he had chinks in his armour, and to deliver on him was fantastic.
And aside from a Constitution Hill, a Galloping de Champs Estate Man, is there one horse that if you could get the leg up at the Cheltenham Festival, one that you would love to ride, or is there one at Willys that is interesting you?
There's a lot in Willys that's interesting, I suppose. But yeah, I'll go back to Cargeese. Yeah, she's the one I like, and fingers crossed I get the leg up on her again, but sod's law, Paul will want to be on her.
Good luck and all the best for the festival.
Thank you very much.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.